A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Dear students, welcome in Pakistan International School Type, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Virtual Learning System Session 2020. This is English for grade 7. Name of the book is Guided English. Today is lecture number 11. Lesson number 10, A Christmas Carol. We'll do the reading and explanation and inshallah try to cover the exercises. I'm your teacher Adnan Sabir Mirza. Now let's start the reading. Page number 53, lesson 10, A Christmas Carol. Now be with me line to line. Christmas Day is the 25th December, the birthday of Jesus. To many people all over the world, even if they are not Christians, it is a holiday. Students, Christmas Christmas Day is 25th of December. 25th December is also the birth anniversary of Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So for Pakistanis, and it is also a holiday, but internationally, 25th December is the Christmas Day, so it is a holiday. Like the new year holiday, it is time when relatives and friends meet and give or send letters and presents to each other. So it is like our Eid when uh, friends and families, relatives mean which you have relation, they are called the relatives. They meet and exchange letters like cards and present gifts with each other, like our Eid. It is a time for merriment and joy and enjoyment. Merriment is to make merry, to spread happiness, to share happiness. It is time for merriment and enjoyment, and for remembering others. Remembering others, the lost one, which are the departed ones. Like on Eid, your parents remember their parents if they are not in the world, or even if they are in the world, you try to contact with them, and especially the poor. It is a time for remembering the poor, because poor do not have as much as resources as the rich. A Christmas Carol is a very well known book by Charles Dickens. So, A Christmas Carol is a part of the book by Charles Dickens. Students, you might not know that Charles Dickens is a very famous English writer. English means from England. Charles Dickens is very famous for his many uh, novels like uh, Great Expectations. That is very famous. And there are few names like Charles Dickens, Thomas Hardy, the Mayor of Casterbridge, The Great Expectations, and Tale of Two Cities. These are the masterpieces of English literature. And Christmas Carol is also written by Charles Dickens. So it must be a masterpiece and maybe one of its kind. It tells the story of a miser called Scrooge Miser, the people, a person who have the money, but he do not like to spend it. So this is about a miser. He thought only of himself and of making money. He did not believe in Christmas. In the story, he is visited by three ghosts. Ghosts means giants or supernatural creatures. They show him what a miserable man he is, and by the end of the story, he has become a different, much better person. This passage comes at the beginning of the book. Scrooge. So this is the real part of the story. Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve. Students, Eve mean the evening or the occasion. Okay. Old Scrooge sat busy in his office. He was cold, dark, it was cold, dark, wintry weather. He could hear the people in the streets walking up and down, stamping their feet on the road to keep themselves warm. Warm. The city clocks had just struck 3. It was quite dark already. It had not been light all day. So 3 o'clock is the afternoon and it is before the evening. But still, it was dark. So it was a dark day all day, and it was a cold day. The door of the office was open so that he could keep an eye on his clerk in the next room. Scrooge had a very small fire, but the clerk's fire was so much smaller than it looked like one coal. So by this, you can imagine how much miser he was, that he was even burning a small amount of fire, and his clerk was given more or less, even a one piece of uh, the coal for making him warm. The clerk had put on his long woolen muffler to keep himself warm. A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you, cried a bright voice. It was the voice of Scrooge's nephew, who came in so quickly that this was the first idea Scrooge had of his coming. Now, like we go to our elders on Eid days and wish the Eid, and we take Eid, the money from our elders. But now you see, Scrooge is a money miser, so he never welcomed even his relatives. His nephew came and he's not happy. Bah, said Scrooge. Humbug, humbug. He had made himself so hot with rapid walking in the winter coat, the nephew of this nephew of Scrooge, that he was quite warm. His face was red and good to look at. His eyes shone. Christmas is a humbug, uncle, said Scrooge's nephew. You don't mean that. I'm sure. I do, said Scrooge. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? You are poor enough. Now you look at the misery that he thinks that poor have no right to be happy, have no right to be merry. So if one is poor, he should not be happy. He should be sad. Come then, answered his nephew, laughing. What right have you to be unhappy? You are rich enough. Scrooge, having no better answer at the moment, said, bah, again, and followed it by saying, humbug. Don't be cross, uncle, begged the nephew. What else can I be? Replied the uncle. When I live in such a world of foolish people. Merry Christmas. Bah, too. A Merry Christmas. What is Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? Now, here you see muffler, muffler, we use mufflers. Long piece of woolen material worn around the neck. Humbug, something not true or real, nonsense. Next page, 54. Now, page 54. A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I had my way, Scrooge went on. Every fool who goes about with a Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a branch of holly through his heart. Uncle, cried the nephew. Now let's see what are the meaning. Christmas pudding, number three, often eaten at Christmas Day. Holly, a bush with dark green pointed leaves and red berries, often used as Christmas decoration. Students, when you see a word like this pudding, and here you can see number three, it means it has a reference. You see the bottom of the page. This is a tip for book readings. Okay, so you should see uh, the meaning from there for easy reading. Nephew, returned the uncle, keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine. Keep it, uncle, repeated Scrooge's nephew. But you don't keep it. Let me leave it alone, then, said Scrooge. Much good may it do you, much good as it ever done you. There are many things from which I might have profited, and from which I have not done so, I dare say, said the nephew. Christmas among the rest, but I am sure that it has always thought of Christmas time when it has come round as a good time, a kind, forgiving, loving, pleasing time, the only time I know of in the long seasons of year when men and women seem to agree to open their hearts freely and to think of people as if they really were their fellow passengers through life and not another race of creatures going on different journeys. And therefore, uncle, though it has never put a piece of gold or silver into my pocket, I believe that it has done me good. And I say, God bless it. The clerk in the small office beyond raised his voice in agreement. Then, realizing what he had done, he turned the coal in the fire over and destroyed its last bit of warmth forever. Let me have another sign from you, said Scrooge, and you'll keep Christmas by losing your work. You are quite a powerful speaker, sir, he said, turning his nephew. I wonder why you don't go into Parliament. Parliament. Parliament is the government uh, department where the policy makers, lawmakers sit together to govern or rule a country or a state. Don't be angry, uncle. Come have your dinner with us tomorrow. Scrooge refused the invitation. But why? Cried Scrooge's nephew. Why? Why did you get married? Said Scrooge. Because I fell in love. Because you fell in love, repeated Scrooge, as if that were the one thing more foolish than a Merry Christmas, good afternoon. I'm sorry with all my heart to find you so determined. There has been nothing to separate us. And I came to you because it was Christmas. And I'll keep my Christmas spirit to the last. So, Merry Christmas, Uncle. Good afternoon. And a Happy New Year. Good afternoon. His nephew left the room without an angry word. He stopped to wish the clerk a Merry Christmas, who could, as he was warmer than Scrooge, for he returned the greeting heartily. There's another fellow, thought Scrooge, who, who heard their words, my clerk with 15 shillings a week and a wife and a family, talking about a Merry Christmas. They'll make me believe the world is going mad. 15 shillings? Shillings are like halalas. Okay, so uh, a pound is divided into 100 shillings. Like we divide the halalas, 100 halalas per real, or 100 pennies for $1. So shilling is for the sterling pound, British pound. So this is the end of story. So, so students, it is your assignment to find out difficult words from the story and write them in your notebooks and write their meaning from Google or from the dictionary. Okay, number one. So number two, we are going in the exercise to complete our exercise. comprehension and vocabulary. Exercise A. 1 minute. Yes, here it is. Exercise A. Add the missing words. You will find them in the passage. Number one, the city clock has just dash 3. It is struck 3. So we have a key here. Okay. Yes. Number two, the clerk had put on his muffler to, number two, keep himself warm. There are two blanks, so keep himself. Number three, the nephew came in so quickly that Scrooge did not hear him coming. Number four, he had made himself hot with rapid walking. Himself, he had made himself so hot with rapid walking that he was quite warm. Number five, Scrooge said that his nephew had no right to be merry. Number five, merry. Number six, the nephew said that Scrooge had no right to be unhappy. Number seven, Scrooge told his nephew to keep Christmas in his own way. Number eight, when the nephew had finished speaking, the clerk raised his voice in agreement. I small, not big, capital. I in 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 agreement. Number nine, the nephew wished his uncle here wished his uncle a merry. There are two blanks. A merry. There are two words. A merry Christmas and a happy a happy too New Year. Number 10. The nephew left the room without an angry word. Without an, these are two words. Without an angry word. So this is end of exercise A. Exercise B. Question answer. First, I will read the questions, then I will read the answers. You will write one by one question answer question. What date is Christmas Eve? Which season of the year is this? Is it? Why did Scrooge keep the door of his office open? Why did Scrooge and his clerk have such small fights? Scrooge said that he lived in a world of foolish people. Why did he think people were foolish? Six. Why did the nephew like Christmas? Number seven. What warning did Scrooge give to his clerk? Number eight. Look up the words sarcasm in your dictionary. The adjective sarcastic. The adjective is sarcastic. Can you find a place in passage where Scrooge is speaking sarcastically? Number nine. What did Scrooge think of people who fall in love? Then can you guess the meaning of phrase to have a warm heart? Which of the three characters in the passage have warm hearts? Answers of exercise B. Yes. Number one, Christmas Eve is on the 24th of December. It is winter. Number three, Scrooge kept the door of the office open so that he could keep a watch of his clerk who was sitting in the outside room was doing his work or not. Four, they had small piles because Scrooge was a miser and probably did not want to spend money on buying gold. Number five, Scrooge felt people were foolish as they were celebrating Christmas, a festival that did not in any way make them richer. Number six, Scrooge's nephew liked Christmas as he felt that on this occasion people forgot their differences and became loving, forgiving, and kind. Number seven, Scrooge warned his clerk to keep his opinion to himself, or he would be asked to give up his job. Number eight, Merry Christmas. I wonder why you don't go into parliament because you fell in love. These are the sarcastic words. Number nine, he thought foolish, senseless people fell in love. Number nine, number 10, to have a warm heart means to care about others and to behave respectfully and kindly towards others. Scrooge's nephew and his clerks have warm hearts. So this is the end of comprehension and vocabulary and the reading. So students complete the word meaning assignment and the homework of doing the question answers and filling the blanks exercises A and B in your notebook. See you soon with the remaining exercise of the Christmas Carol lesson number 10. So for now, take care. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum. Ramzan Mubarak.